Hey, hello guys, welcome to IQCIVILS IAS Academy, a great coach transforms life. So today we are going to discuss about the second nuclear test of India. Why we are discussing this topic? Because 2023 is the 25th anniversary of India's second nuclear test. India conducted its second nuclear test from 11th of May to 13th of May 1998. From 1998 to 2023, it is 25 years. And that's why we are discussing this topic today. This topic will be covered by me, Dr. Sachin Kadam, faculty at IQ Civils IAS Academy, Guwahati. This is our elite panel of faculties from Delhi that include Sunil sir, Sachin sir, Anuj sir, Alok sir, Yogesh Sharma sir, Rizwan Alam sir, Vikram Singh sir and Nitin Kumar sir. We are starting our new offline and online batches from 25th of May and 5th of June, and for admission or to book your seat and register your name to into our upcoming batches, you can directly connect to our director Mr. Anuj Singh, our admissions manager Lisa Tamuli, or our front office holder Bikas Deka. This is our YouTube channel. You should subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is the Google review given by the students to IQ Civils IAS Academy, 4.9 star for a civil services coaching institute is rare and unique. So you can be rest assured about our classes, our quality of the teaching in classrooms. So why we are discussing this Pokhran test 2? So before I go to the Pokhran test 2, I would like to give you a short recap about the nuclear bomb history or development of the nuclear weapons across the world. So first nuclear bomb explosion took place in 1945. It was done by USA and this was done in Japan. Actually, at the end of the Second World War, USA dropped two nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, and world came to know about the violent and destructive power of the nuclear weapons. And after this attack, Japan surrendered on 15th of August 1945 and Second World War ended. Nuclear bombs in 1945 were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki on 6th of August and 9th of August, and within, you can see, within 10 to 15 days Japan surrendered. So it showed the world that a country with nuclear weapon can be very powerful. That's why in 1949 USSR tested the nuclear weapons. After this, in 1951 UK tested the nuclear weapon. So initially only one country, that is USA, had the nuclear weapon. Within 6 years, three countries had nuclear weapon. So in 1953, while addressing United Nations General Assembly, President of USA, Dr. Eisenhower, gave a speech, and the name of that speech is Atoms for Peace. In this speech, President said that we should use atoms, or we should use nucleus or power of the nucleus for peaceful purpose and not for developing nuclear weapons. And by keeping this advice in mind, in 1957 different countries in the world came together and they established one organization called International Atomic Energy Agency. And the main motive of this International Atomic Energy Agency was atoms for peace. But even after the establishment of IAEA in 1960, France conducted the nuclear test. It was followed by the nuclear test done by China in 1963. So even after the establishment of IAEA, spread of the nuclear weapon or development of the nuclear weapon by different countries didn't stop. That's why in 1967 one treaty was introduced, and the name of that treaty was NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty. And this treaty came into force in 1969. So NPT came into force in 1969. Clear? Remember this. So now world thought that now we introduced a treaty, now we introduced a non-proliferation treaty, so no country will test a nuclear weapon. But very important fact, there were some countries who didn't sign treaty, or NPT was not signed by few countries, and those countries are: number 1, India; number 2, Pakistan; number 3, Israel; number 4, South Sudan. Okay, now the South Sudan is a new country. It came into existence in 2014. That's why they didn't sign nuclear this non-proliferation treaty. And number 5th, North Korea. Actually, North Korea initially signed this treaty, but after few years, North Korea withdrew from the treaty. So these are the 5 countries in the world in 2023 who didn't sign nuclear treaty, non-proliferation treaty. Out of them, these 4 countries, India, Pakistan, Israel and Sudan, never signed NPT, and North Korea initially signed NPT and then it withdrew from the NPT. So after NPT came into existence in 1974, India became the first country in the world to test nuclear weapon. So India's first nuclear test, it took place in 1974, and the name of that nuclear test was Smiling Buddha. In the last lecture I told you about this test. Now even after NPT came into existence, another country, that is India, tested a nuclear weapon. So in the same year, one more organization was established, or group was established, that is known as NSG, or Nuclear Suppliers Group. The main objective of NSG or Nuclear Suppliers Group was or is to prevent the export and import of the raw material or technology that can be used for the development of nuclear weapon. And after this, in 1996, one more treaty came into existence, CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, which prevents the or prohibits the test of the nuclear weapon. See, NPT of 1969 prevent the NPT of 1969, it prevents the spread of the nuclear weapon technology. CTBT prevents the test of the nuclear weapon. After CTBT came into existence again in 1998, India tested its second nuclear test, about which we are talking. So from 11th May to 13th May 1998, India conducted 6 nuclear explosions. The name of this operation was Project Shakti, and under that we tested nuclear weapons second time. Okay, and this is the 2023 is the 25th anniversary of this project. And in the same year again, because India tested nuclear weapon twice, so Pakistan tested nuclear weapon in 1998. So this way countries acquired nuclear weapon. So now we will come to our actual news. 25th anniversary of the Pokhran 2. Pokhran 1, 1974. Name Smiling Buddha. Pokhran 2, 1998. Name Operation Shakti. So context, on May 11, 1998, code named Operation Shakti, literally strength, Pokhran 2, India conducted 3 nuclear bomb tests, explosions at the Indian Army's Pokhran test range from 11th May to 13th May. I said 6 now, it is actually 3. Total 3 nuclear bombs were tested, And the first nuclear bomb in the second test of the nuclear weapons in India was tested in on 11th of May. That's why 11th of May is also celebrated as National Technology Day. We also celebrate this as National Technology Day. Okay. Timeline of Operation Shakti or Pokhran 2. Foundations of India's nuclear program laid by physicist Homi J. Bhabha. Remember, Homi J. Bhabha is also known as father of Indian nuclear program. Okay, father of Indian nuclear program. That is Dr. Homi J. Bhabha. Then Tata Institute of Fundamental Research TIFR, India's first research institution dedicated to the study of nuclear physics, opened in 1945 in Bombay after Bhabha's successful lobbying. Then Department of Atomic Energy, it was founded in 1954 with Bhabha as director. That's why we call Dr. Homi J. Bhabha as the father of Indian nuclear program. Then why India tested nuclear weapon in 1974 first and 1998 second? Reason, threat of China and Pakistan. See, before 1974, China tested nuclear weapon in 1963. So now India had a neighbor, the name of that neighbor is China, with whom India fought a war in 1962. And a nuclear powered neighbor with whom India has a conflict made India to test a nuclear weapon in 1974. So the threat of China and Pakistan, the 1962 Sino-Indian War, and China's subsequent nuclear bomb test at Lop Nur in 1964 made it compulsory for India to test a nuclear weapon in 1974. In the same way, the 1965 India-Pakistan war, with China openly supporting Pakistan, therefore, India was surrounded by two unfriendly nations and needed to take steps towards building self-sufficiency. Then, as I told you, this NPT came into, it was opened for signature in 1967 and it came into force in 1969. The discriminatory NPT. By the 1960s, discourse around nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation as the Cold War arms race pushed the USA and USSR to great extremities. In 1968, the NPT came into existence, defining nuclear weapon states as those that have built and tested a nuclear explosive device before 1st January 1967, and before 1st January 1967 only USA in 1945, USSR in 1949, UK in 1951, France in 1960, and China in 1964. Only 5 countries tested a nuclear weapon. And one of the reason India didn't sign NPT was, according to NPT, only those countries who tested a nuclear weapon before 1st January 1967 can keep nuclear weapons. No other country can develop a nuclear weapon. India said it is a discriminatory treaty. Why you are allowing only 5 countries to have nuclear weapon? Because they tested nuclear weapon first. That is wrong. That's why India didn't sign nuclear non-proliferation treaty. So this is discriminatory NPT. This disallows any other state from acquiring nuclear weapons. The Government of India refused to accede to the terms of the treaty because it failed to address India's concerns. Pokhran 1 or Operation Smiling Buddha. By the 1970s, Vikram Sarabhai. He is known as the father of yes, father of Indian space, father of space technology in India. Sarabhai, father of nuclear technology in India. Homi J. Bhabha, then father of supercomputing in India, Vijay Bhatkar, and missile man of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So by the 1970s, Vikram Sarabhai, Bhabha's successor at the DAE, had worked to significantly broaden India's nuclear technology. Just a minute, I need to take this call. Hello? परिहार साहेब मी ना आता क्लासमध्ये माझ्या ऑनलाईन मी कॉल बॅक करतो. Sorry, huh? So by the 1970s, I hope you understand the Marathi language that I just spoke. Okay, just a minute. So by the 1970s, Vikram Sarabhai, Bhabha's successor at the DAE, had worked to significantly broaden India's nuclear technology. Okay. Then the Indira Gandhi government showed political will, and on 18th of May 1974, India carried out its first nuclear test at the Pokhran test site. This test was conceptualized as a peaceful nuclear explosion with few military implications. This is the story of India's first nuclear test, or Pokhran 1. Then international sanctions on India post Pokhran 1. After first nuclear test in 1974, mainly two countries, USA and Canada, they implemented the sanctions on India because India used the nuclear reactor given by USA and Canada to India to develop nuclear bomb. The world was not willing to buy India's version of the motive behind Pokhran 1, and countries like USA and Canada imposed significant sanctions. These sanctions, majorly on tech transfer, would be a major setback for India's nuclear journey and majorly decelerate its progress. Actually, because of these sanctions, if I can show you India's electricity basket, okay, if you see the electricity basket of India, just a minute, yes, it's there. History of power, here you go. On the website of Ministry of Power in 2023, if you check out, out of total electricity generated in India, only close to 1% is generated from nuclear power. See, only 1.6% electricity in India is generated by using nuclear power. Why this drawback? Why so less electricity generated in India from nuclear power? Because of the sanctions in 1974. Okay, let's go ahead. Next, the period between two tests, domestic political instability from 1974 to 1998, emergency in 1974, then coalition government, then death of Indira Gandhi, then Rajiv Gandhi came into power, then death of Rajiv Gandhi, then LPG reforms, and coalition government of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So the duration between first and second nuclear test, that timeline is very unstable. Politically, it was unstable. Domestic political instability, the emergency of 1975, and PM Morarji Desai's opposition to nuclear weapons brought the program to a grinding halt. In 1980s, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was made in charge of India's missile program, and India exponentially increased its plutonium stockpiles. In 1990s, with the fall of USSR in 1991, India lost one of its biggest military allies. Okay, the US continued to provide military aid to Pakistan. Discussions regarding CTBT were also underway in the UN. It would be finalized in 1996, but India did not sign it. So remember, India did not sign NPT, India did not sign CTBT, because according to India, both these treaties are discriminatory. One more interesting fact, NPT is in force, okay, but CTBT is not in force. CTBT is not in force. Let's go ahead. So, Pokhran 2, projecting India's strength, Project Shakti, Operation Shakti. In 1995, permission for carrying out a nuclear test was granted. However, logistical and political reasons pushed back the test further. In 1998, Atal Bihari Vajpayee government showed political will and successfully conducted Operation Shakti. So it was very much needed, because after 1974 we didn't conducted any nuclear test. So maybe our enemies like China and Pakistan feel that they might feel that India is now India, though India tested a nuclear weapon in 1974, but now India is not capable to conduct a nuclear test, and they might attack India. That's why it was important for India to test a nuclear weapon. Then, unlike the 1974 test, the Indian government declared itself as a state possessing nuclear weapons following Pokhran 2. Remember, after 1974 Pokhran 1 test, India didn't declare itself as a nuclear weapon state. For the very first time after 1998, uh, Pokhran 2, India declared that it is a nuclear weapon state, and declaring this thing is very, very important for deterrence. Though the test invited more sanctions from some countries like USA, the condemnation was far less than 1974. The test helped India enter the highly guarded club of countries with the capability to deploy nuclear weapons, helping it to cement its status as a dominant nation state. Now I would like to tell you how many countries in the world today have nuclear weapons. USA, Russia, UK, France, and China. These five countries have nuclear weapon. They are known as nuclear weapon states according to NPT, and they are the P5 permanent member, five members of Security Council. We call that UNSC P5. Okay, then India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea. These four countries have nuclear weapon, but they are considered as illegally developing nuclear weapons. Why? Because NPT allows only five countries in the world to have nuclear weapon, and these countries didn't sign NPT or withdrew from the NPT and acquired nuclear weapons. So total P5 plus 4, 9 countries in the world have nuclear weapon, and out of these 5 countries are nuclear weapon state according to NPT, and 4 countries are nuclear weapon state but not according to NPT. Okay, let's go ahead. India's nuclear doctrine presented in 1999 since Pokhran 2. Immediately after testing Pokhran 2 or second nuclear test, India came up with the nuclear doctrine. It highlighted a credible minimum deterrence and no first use policy, while concurrently supporting non-proliferation and universal disarmament. India's nuclear doctrine has two important features. One is credible minimum deterrence, and second, no first use policy or NFU. The sole purpose of India's nuclear deterrence is to deter adversaries' use or threat of use of nuclear weapons. The policy changed India's image and the USA. Once an adversary of India's nuclear program signed a nuclear deal with India in 2008, acknowledging India as a responsible nuclear player. So, this nuclear doctrine played a very important role to lift sanctions that were imposed on India after 1974 and 1998. It is very, very important. Some other day we will discuss about nuclear doctrine. Now, what India should do in the future? India needs actions at two levels for sustainable national security. Number one, to address immediate security threats by intelligently building sufficient and resilient retaliatory capability to signal credible deterrence, and to make long-term innovative diplomatic investment towards the creation of a global environment conducive to peace and universal nuclear disarmament. Simultaneously, India can leverage the economic, political, and cultural appeal to showcase the advantages of its philosophy of nuclear deterrence. And actually, India projected itself as one of the most responsible nuclear power because India never entered into a nuclear race. There are countries like USA and Russia who have more than 5,000 nuclear bombs, but India has only 100 or 120 nuclear weapons or nuclear bombs. Even number of nuclear bombs with Pakistan are more. Okay. Now, why this thermobaric bomb was in news? Because recently there is a conflict going on in Myanmar. Na? So it is said that Myanmar military used thermobaric bomb or vacuum bomb, also known as fuel air explosive, to attack a village. So remember different names of the thermobaric bomb. Number one, thermobaric bomb. Number two, vacuum bomb. Number three, fuel air explosive. Okay, these are the different names of the thermobaric bomb. And why it was in news? Because it is used by Myanmar military. How it works? Number one, precision guided bomb strikes the target by using missile. Small explosion releases a cloud of explosive material. So this is the first explosion. Second explosion ignites cloud, causing the massive blast that is capable of vaporizing human bodies. So there are two explosions in thermobaric weapons. Okay, it is a two-stage explosion. First explosion splits open the bomb's fuel container, releasing a cloud of fuel and metal particles. Second explosion ignites the aerosol cloud, creating a giant ball of fire and sending out intense blast waves. Prohibition: not prohibited by any international law or agreement. Very important. Use of thermobaric bomb is inhuman, but there is no international treaty or law that prevents the use of thermobaric bomb. Possible action: use against civilian populations in built up areas, schools or hospitals could attract action under Hague Convention of 1899 and 1907. For your prelims, just remember three different names of the thermobaric bomb and two continue explosion by a single bomb. Okay, so this is all about the thermobaric bomb. That's it from my side today, guys. If you want notes of this class, join this telegram channel. We are starting our new batches from 15th of May and 6th of June. These batches are available online as well as offline. So if you want to join our online or offline batches from 15th May or 6th June, you need to register yourself. And for registration, these are the numbers. You can directly call on these numbers and register your name or register yourself with IQ Civils IAS Academy, Guwahati. So that was about the today's session, guys. I hope you liked this. Like this video, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. These sessions on YouTube channel, they are very interesting and very crucial for your different competitive examinations. Okay, so that's it from my side, guys. Bye bye, take care, sayonara, see you soon.